Welcome back, Bravehearts. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolfe, and welcome to Doc Talk Live Q&A. Why do we do this? Well, because you matter, your questions matter. All right? You can ask your questions on Doc of Detox, Telegram, Rumble, Facebook, Twitter, which is known as X, okay? All right? We're unable to do it for TikTok, okay? And we're unable to do it for YouTube, but if you want to send your questions in, you can send them to my phone at 469-861-9454, okay? Just letting you know. And I'll repeat it again throughout this little training that we're doing today. And today I'd like to call this Doc Talk Rotten to the Core, okay? And understand something. Do you know why the majority of the population is rotten to the core? Do you know why their immune system is falling on the floor? Do you know why? On a physical and emotional, nutritional level? Because our government, okay, the food corporations, so-called healthcare is rotten to the core. Whether you believe it or not, and I touch on it just because there's a lot of people that aren't awake yet to this. They're not awake to this yet. And that's this. All the systems out there pretty well, I'd say 99% of them, are there to actually sell you off by the pound. Now, you think that you are doing better, and you think that it's as good as it gets with food, healthcare, okay, your finances, because guess what? You're programmed to believe that. And the best thing to do is to have a slave nation and not even know that they're slaves, to actually believe, because over the centuries, because things aren't getting any better. And guess what? We are getting dumbed down, okay? Our ancestors were a lot sharper. Go take a look at even the buildings that were built. Look at the science they did, okay? Look at Tesla, look at Einstein, look at all of these things. Everything, we're being ruled, schooled, and fooled with everything. But you know what? It doesn't disturb me. It doesn't upset me, okay? Because I understand what's going on down here. This is planet Earth, a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure. And when you learn the rules, you're going to learn to mind your own business. You're going to learn to mind your own vibration, your own frequency. You're going to understand that not even 1% of 1% of this physical body is actually you. You're going to find out that you have unlimited possibility, that you're an indestructible, infinite being, okay? All right? But today, let's just bring it down to the physical, and let's talk about this, okay? Let's talk about the highway to health. Look, if you want a really deeper understanding, look, I don't care if you're a natural health practitioner or you're a medical doctor, and if you're a medical doctor, you hardly know any of this. Oh yeah, you know the names of the organs, but you know it from a medical point of view. You don't know it from a natural point of view. And most of the natural health practitioners out there, if you went to naturopathic college, you really don't know it from the natural point of view. And does a naturopathic doctor teach their patients to become their own practitioners? Do they teach people to go from a victim to their own hero? Do they create a perfect day? My God, if you had a perfect day, okay, let me just show you. If you had a perfect day, okay, if you knew what a perfect day was, and you repeated it today and repeated it tomorrow and repeated it the next day and the next day, and you made a change in your life by 1% every day, that means every 100 days you have perfected a new strategy for yourself. Now, the medical doctors and the food corporation aren't the ones that are strategizing against us. I'm not going to get into that. Okay, these are just minions that actually work for this elite few, these 5 families throughout the world that have been doing this for centuries. But we're gonna bring it down to like ground level here today and just tell you this, okay, that, well, bouncing. Okay, that, guess what? You're actually, okay, the first brain is your heart. All right? The first brain is your heart. If you were to process everything with your heart, you wouldn't be acting, reacting, attacking all the way through your life. If you process things through your heart is infinite. It knows everything. It's universal. This here is your second brain. This is actually your first brain. We'll call this your second brain. But you know what? I want to rename that and make the large intestine the second brain and bring this up to the third brain. Because guess what? I'm actually right. I did enough science that I shouldn't have said that. I should have said that this is actually the third brain, this is the second brain, this is the first brain. Okay? And the reality is this is just a computer. It just runs programs. So it's a computer that runs programs. When you buy a computer, you bring a computer home, guess what? You got to plug it in, but oh my God, there's nothing happening. Well, that's because you got to put a program into it. And then from 0 to 7, they put their programs into you because you have no filters. And you're running contaminated programs, but because everyone's doing it, you don't realize it. And you're running it on an emotional and physical levels. So, you know, from the moment you rise until you close your eyes, you are undermining your health. If it wasn't for that spirit, that God-giving spirit of yours, you wouldn't be lasting as long as you did. I'm going to go through this. I'll take about 10, 15 minutes to go through this. And then I'm going to take about 15, 20 minutes to go through the large intestine. And then I'm going to answer any questions that you have. How's that sound? Okay. Now, if you want to watch the full masterclass on Highway to Life, please go to docofdetoxlibrary.com and sign in and watch it. Highway to Life. And then, if you'd like to learn about the gut-brain connection, then go to Holy Crap, the Holy Grail, your large intestine, and watch that whole masterclass. Today, I'm just going to quickly go through this and then answer any questions that people have. Okay? All right. So anyways, let's talk about it. So guess what? Right here, there's the front door. There's the back door. If you watch Real People, Real Healing just about an hour ago, you'll see that I talked to somebody that had rectal anal cancer. All right? And go back there and listen to that. Because believe it or not, guess what is the fastest growing cancer in North America right now? It's the large intestine, your colon. Isn't that something? The Holy Grail. That has 85% of your immune system because it's all about the bacteria. Okay, you know the bacteria that you're using bacterial soap because you need to just sanitize. Okay, all right? Well, guess what? That stuff is poison. All right? Your bacteria are everything. You kill your bacteria, you kill you. All right? If you want to not have bad bacteria in your body, if you don't want to have fungus, if you don't want to have parasites, if you don't want to have a parasite party, then what you need to do is you need to build those good bacteria. And how do you build those good bacteria? Okay? You build them properly. And how do you do it? Well, here is where you put in the compost. Did you hear what I just said? Compost. So every food that comes in here, is it natural? Is it pure? Is it high vibrational? Is the fiber really healthy? Is there enzymes in it? Is there minerals in it? Is there structured water in it? Okay? All right. Is it pure? And the reality is this, you know, people talk about fermentation, right? How you should eat fermented foods. I'm not a big one on that. I mean, if you want to do some fermented foods, I mean, people are kombucha crazy, and you're going to mess up your gut, okay? Because understand something. When you take in fresh and raw foods, okay, that fiber in those foods, by the time it makes the journey, which is over 30 feet, 33 feet, around 30 to 33 feet with an adult, by the time it gets to the large intestine, it's just starting to ferment. When it gets into the large intestine, which is a compost, that's right, your large intestine is a compost. It's a compost. Okay, you guys that love your refined carbs, you love your alcohol, okay, you love your processed foods, okay, you love eating animal protein till the cows come home, and the reality is that the animal protein is dead animals, and after a while it is going to fall back onto you. And I'm not telling you not to eat animal products, I'm trying to tell you to watch the consumption of that, and that you could eat a whole plant-based keto diet and you would get enough amino acids and protein. And I know that we need a lot, okay? Because the main things that we really need in life, okay, are fiber, okay, protein, okay, and fatty acids. Okay, those are the real crucial ones. And the reason being is it's like, take your brain, okay, that's mainly made out of 80% cholesterol, thank you very much. And then the cell walls of your cells, 50% protein and 50%, okay, cholesterol, which is made by fatty acids. And that's why you've got to love your olive oils, you've got to love your coconut oil, but the most potent of these is hemp C60 if you really want to bring the game up, like 100-fold, okay? Or MCT oil C60 if you really want to bring the game up 100-fold. I mean 100 times, okay? Not 100%, but 100 times. All right, the reality is that we need those fatty acids. And I'm just going to say this, and then I promise to get right back on track. Statin drugs, they stop the production of cholesterol. Nobody will ever die of high cholesterol. That's a lie. And if you're taking statin drugs, welcome to dementia, welcome to Alzheimer's, welcome to hearing problems, welcome to eyesight problems, okay, all right? Welcome to cellular mutation and inflammation, okay? So just so you know that, all right? There is nothing good about statins. Sorry, Bones. There's nothing good about statins, and that's the reality. I don't know how they're getting away with this, but guess what? It depends on what side of the fence you're on, right? Okay, all right? There is no justice in this world. You need to understand, you need to become the justice you're searching for. The justice where you know how to love, honor, and respect yourself and do your homework. If you're getting it anywhere from your friends, your neighbors, your family, or from the media, well, we already know that you're being harvested, okay? And the reality is you look around at everyone else and you go, hey, I'm doing pretty good here. I'm doing pretty good. Well, no, you're not. You're not. You're limping already. And if you want to do really good, then you got to break free from the herd. Let's just remember that. So everything that comes in the front door, okay, we got to make sure that, what about food combining? Do you know about food combining? Nobody talks about it anymore. It's like fallen to the wayside, like you should never eat 2 proteins at a meal. Okay, you should never eat a protein with a starch. Oh my God, take a look at your meat and potatoes man. It looks like he's going to give birth. He's pregnant. He's either 3 months pregnant or he's all the way to 9 months pregnant. And look at women. Some women look like they're pregnant. They're not pregnant. So there you go. And what is that? Well, that's because they're rotten to the core. Their immune system's on the floor. The large intestine's falling down, pushing down the small intestine, which is pushing on the bladder, which is pushing on the ovaries, which is pushing on the uterus, which is pushing on the prostate. And so now we don't have proper plumbing here and a compost. We have a cesspool. And guess what? What came first, the swamp or the mosquito? The swamp. You're a swamp. That's why you have the mosquitoes, which are the bad bacteria, which is the fungi. Well, okay, all right, which is we call candida yeast. Most people know what is that. And the worms, and most people don't realize, but you didn't eat the worms. You actually grew them from the invisible to the physical in your manure pile. Just like the manure pile in the back of a barnyard, okay? You actually created them from nothing because environment dictates what lives there. Environment dictates what lives inside of you. I never have to worry about parasites. I'll never do a parasite cleanse in my life. I'm never going to have to worry about bad bacteria. I don't have to do a bad bacteria cleanse in my life. I don't have to do a worm cleanse. I'll never have to do a worm cleanse or a fungal cleanse because I am not, okay, a manure pile. I am not a cesspool. I am not a swamp that is encouraging mosquitoes. That's it. Louis Pasteur on his deathbed said, God forgive me. Yes, he did. May not said it with that tone, but he said, forgive me because I have lied. The whole viral bacterial thing that he said was real isn't real. Your environment dictates what lives there. So understand something, whether you like it or not. When you take an antibiotic, you go in there with an atomic bomb. And you shouldn't be doing that unless you have a life-threatening situation or you're creating one. And understand, do whatever you want. I'm not telling you what to do. My patients come to me, my clients come to me, whatever they want to be called, okay? I don't tell them what to do. I say, this is what I would do if I was in your situation. Do some homework, do some real study. No, that's got no science behind it. I got science behind everything I say, or else I'd get in trouble. Remember, I'm not on the other side of the fence. I'm on this side of the fence. I can't get away with what they get away with, okay? All right. So, food combining again. Fruit should be eaten alone. And you know what? You don't want to mix your subacids with your acids, okay? You don't want to. Take a look. Get a food combining chart. If you take a look at my perfect day guide, okay? All right, I'm going to just show you for a second, and then we'll come right back, okay? Perfect day guide, pdgfree.com. Go in there and take a look at food combining, guys. Okay, go look at food combining. Okay, why do you make everything into a buffet? Do you ever go to these buffets? Okay, all you can eats? What do people look like with all you can eats? What do they look like? I'm not picking on them. What do they look like? Food combining is a real thing, okay? If you don't do food combining, it's called gluttony, okay? Because you're just throwing all these different foods together and they don't digest properly. So remember something, in your digestive tract, okay? In your digestive tract, one sec. In your digestive tract, you are going to do only two things. You're going to digest or you're going to rot. So, when you go to eat, okay, if you get heartburn, okay, it's emotional too, but if you get heartburn, it's emotional and physical problems. And guess what? You are not digesting some type of emotional problem. You're not digesting your food because it wasn't combined properly, okay? And that'll be happening in the stomach. When it gets to the small intestine, if it's not combined properly, that's where the putrefaction starts to take place. And instead of actually assimilating the nutrients in that 22 feet of intestine, okay, that the villi are going to pick up in the small intestine right here, okay, you're going to have rotting going on. And where do you think Crohn's disease comes from? Where do you think ileitis comes from? Okay, where do you think these fungal problems come from? Because anything that rot is going to have a fungal problem. But where the big problem starts is in the large intestine. Okay, so you're either going to digest or putrefy. Which one? So we want to take a look at food combining. So look, you can mix starches with vegetables, you can mix proteins with vegetables, but not proteins with starches. And understand something, if you are not going to follow the rule, these food combining rules, then you've got to know something. You've got to chew your food, and so your solids become a liquid. So what you want to do is drink your solids because you chewed them so much they're a liquid, and you want to what? Chew your liquids. Because you want to mix your liquids with the enzymes in your mouth to get better absorption. You may not realize this. You can cut your food eating down, okay, anywhere from 60, okay, all right? I mean it, 60 to 66%. Just by chewing your food properly and combining. Oh my God. And so meanwhile, people are going, oh my God, it costs so much to eat, it costs so much to eat. Well, that's because most of you are just eating and you're not nourishing. You don't know how to nourish yourself. And then most of you don't buy nourishing food. How many of you believe that you can go to a supermarket and eat healthy? That's not true. They would have to have actually certified organic there. Okay, and the reality is you know what? Okay, so today I've done, right now, it's approximately around 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll just take a guesstimate. Okay, and I have already done 3 quarts of liquid. Okay, and I've had nutraceuticals in the liquid like Black Diamond, Beyond Ormus Minerals. I've taken my IGF 300,000 3 times today. I've done 4 SON formula this morning because that's the most powerful amino acid product for building protein. I have C60 hemp and C60 coconut oil everywhere around the house, and I swig it throughout the day. And guess what? I don't have to eat food. And you know what? If you make food into some kind of occupation, you will have a very, very bad life, okay? People eat too much. 3 meals, 3 snacks. Who made that up? Right? We're just garbage cans. You don't need to do that. One good meal a day, blender drinks, maybe a salad, maybe a soup, but it's all about what's in there. What kind of nutrition is in the food? It's all about electricity, isn't it? Why do you think she can't get out of bed? She doesn't have enough electrical charge in her cells to get her out of bed. She doesn't have enough electrical charge to get herself well. You know, you don't have to go to hospice, okay? All you got to do is recharge the battery and bring up the electrical charge to 1.4 volts. Because in people that are really sick, they don't even have 0.4 volts, they've got 0.2 volts. So the reality is, and if you don't understand how the human body works, and you don't know that it's a walking, talking battery and that every cell has 1.4 volts in, and we got to get it back up to that if we want to have vital healthy. And you're not going to be vitally healthy if you don't have trapped high frequency nutrition and light in the food. It's just going to be that way. We're light, energy, electrical, magnetic beings. Okay. So anyways, we're going to food combine, or we're going to find out how to do it properly, and we're going to just start playing with it and see if it makes a difference in the headaches, in the nausea, in the feeling tired after our meals. Oh, honey, let's go for a walk, and then after the meal, you don't want to go anywhere. If you go to my library, go watch the masterclass, okay? Spoiled Rotten, a day in the life of the average all-American couple. Guess what? He comes home hungry. Oh, I'm hungry. That's right, because he's always eating, but he's never getting fed. Understand something. What actually turns off your hunger is actually a frequency, a vibrational frequency high enough and strong enough that turns your hunger off. That's why people keep eating, because they keep eating empty, toxic food. And that's why they're blowing up, because they're rotting inside. That's why you create fat cells, because fat cells are the storage tank of infection and inflammation. And eventually those fat cells become cellulite. And guess what? And if your body can't keep up with making fat cells, then you're going to have inflammation to the stage of stage 4 inflammation, which they call cancer, which means the inflammation was inflamed that ate up 35% of the oxygen in your cells. So then your cells went into mutation, which they call cancer. And that is the cause of cancer, is lack of oxygen. So cut out inflammation completely on an emotional and physical level. And guess what? You're going to rock your life. It's not how much you eat, it's what you eat. It's not how much you drink, it's what you drink. Okay? And just know this, we're always going to think. The brain never stops. So have you went in there and put in belief systems that are going to rock your world from the moment you rise until you close your eyes? You think about that one. Okay, so we're going to chew our food until it becomes a liquid. Then we're going to swallow it. And then it's going to go down into our stomach. All right? And remember, hopefully we food combine properly. And the other thing too, you sit down at the table, guess what? I didn't know any better. You know what? When my kids were young, if they weren't doing things they were told, it was hard to nail them down. They'd come to the table, and then me and my wife, we would attack them, come after them. So do you think they chewed their food well? No, they just want to get the hell away from the table. So the reality is everybody had upset stomachs. So the reality is that needs to be, okay, we need to go to the table. We need to teach our children to bless their food. We need to ask our children, what was your high point? What was your low point that day? We need to not terrorize our children at all. We need to have unconditional love at that table. Bless the food, bless the children, bless ourselves. Okay, come together, okay, to nourish, not to eat. You think about that. Okay, so now we swallow the food, and the reason why we're not going to bring terrorism to the table, because guess what? Every time that you get stressed out or you feel fearful, 70% of your energy leaves the core area. 85% of all your energy is created and stored in this area. And guess what? When you stress out and you go to eat, like I will not eat, okay? Let me tell you. Yesterday, there was a lot of things that went sideways. Well, what do you think? They say that we've created the world's biggest health app, most powerful health app, called BHNapp.com. Go test drive it. We just built out Braveheart Nation Studio here in Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo, Mexico. Monday, I leave for Australia to do a free lecture tour around the country of Australia. And then I'm doing a full training, whole life health coach, Dr. Wolf, doing the Wolf non-surgical. But from there, I'm going to Canada to teach how to pull fibroids apart, lovingly pull them apart, and actually what to do, strategies inside and outside the body to make it happen properly. So with all of these things I'm juggling, okay, and then we have our clinic here and DOD 5-star health and healing retreat. So, I've created all this with help from my beautiful Braveheart Nation team just in the last 4 months. So, crap's gonna hit the fan. So yesterday I was like, I was running kind of stressed. If you watch my show, you saw I went and had some lentil soup and I was eating stressed out, and then I got this little lentil caught here, and then I had a coughing fit for the first time ever on a show. And I just went, there you go, Daryl. Okay, you're choking yourself. Okay, slow down, calm down. So then I didn't eat anything except drink for the rest of the day, and I just brought myself down. I went upstairs and I just calmed myself down. You're spinning out, buddy. Okay, all right. So don't terrorize yourself, and please don't terrorize your family. Okay? You can say things and do things quite differently with love in your heart. This is why I told you the first brain is here. You want to process through your heart. If you want to process through your head, everybody's going to be dead. If you want to process through your heart, you're going to be very smart. And the reality is you can say the same thing you said from your head, okay? And if you did it from your heart, guess what? They're going to hear you, and they're actually going to understand you. But do it from your head, okay, and create all that dread for them. It's going to block. They're just going to be like they want to fight, fright, flight, run. So don't be doing that at the table. And if you can't be calm, don't eat. Remember, it takes 70% of your energy to eat. How many people know that if you ate 3 meals a day, that's like walking, the energy it takes, you walk 10 miles. I eat 1 meal a day. I make sure that it's food combined properly. And if it's not going to be food combined properly, then I take Digest Complete. And on the bottle of what we sell, Digest Complete, it says, take 2. I take 10. If I know that I didn't eat well, look, whether you want to believe it or not, most things that are on the bottle are not true. In most nutritional aspects, you've got to take what you need to do the job. When I was like 18, and let's say I didn't eat correctly, I could have done 2 digestive enzymes, and it would have worked. Okay? All right. And the only way that we can, and it's not because my metabolism slowed down, okay? It's because I need to do more cleansing, more advanced water fasting. I don't care. Did you know that your metabolism never slows down? The only thing, the problem is you get more toxic and you have physical blocks of calcium, scar tissue crystallization. And you also have emotional blocks up here that you don't even know. And whatever you feed gets bigger. So the reality is, if you haven't been the master of your mind and you haven't went in and rewrote the belief systems and made them prominent, dominant ones that are based on unconditional love and care for yourself, then you are going to age quickly. And you're not going to have a lot of energy. And you will compare yourself as a statistic. Oh, you're doing pretty good for your 67 there, eh? Yeah, at least I'm above ground. I mean, look at the way we talk. Oh, I'm above ground. Oh, wow, really? Is that it, above ground? Holy crap. No, I rock my world, okay? I rock my world. I am pain-free. I have energy. Do I get tired? Yeah, but I don't go to bed in pain. I go to bed going, yeah, I got this. And I wake up going, yeah, here we go. We got this. This is a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure when you know the rules, okay? All right. So anyways, the food's going to come down to your stomach. And understand something, everyone. You go ahead and eat when you're fearful, and then have 70% of the energy leave to go to your arms and legs because you're ready to run. I mean, if you're fearful, that means there's a tiger coming. And if it's not a real tiger, it doesn't matter. It could be a paper tiger with no teeth, but your mind doesn't know that. Well, why do you think there's so much depression out there. There's no such thing called depression. That's why there shouldn't be any antidepressants, because they don't work. But there is no such thing called depression. It's called you burnt out the computer. This is only a computer. And it's also a chemist. And the reality is this, okay? Your beliefs are everything. The image creates the thought creates the emotion creates the frequency. It could be negative, it could be positive. And understand, so we know that the brain runs the program, and then the brain dumps the chemicals, could be the dose, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, where I'm having the best day of my life, baby. Or, guess what? I have a terrifying image, or I'm rerunning the same trauma story, because guess what? How about this? You don't understand what my life is like. In my life, I had a hell upbringing. I'm still living the horror. Yeah, well, that's because you're telling your story that way. Tell a different story. Let everybody off the hook. You don't have to go back and see them, but let them off the hook. Stop being a victim. Start being a braveheart. You may not like this, but people don't like the truth. You know, most people today on this planet are victims. And that's why they're pulling our pants down, okay? That's why they're pulling our pants down, and they're taking advantage of us. So it doesn't matter if it's real or not. You go ahead and tell the story. Your body's chemistry goes through it and relives it if it's only happening for the first time. And it could have happened 30, 40, 50 years ago. So every time that you stress yourself out and tell the story or create fear, you can't eat. You need to drink. You got to put the fire out, but there's no way you're going to be able to digest properly. So the reality is, with most people today, look at the food they ate. It takes more energy to digest the food than the energy gives, and that's why people are rotten to the core. Their immune system's on the floor. And there's so much more, and they're never going to have it, because guess what? You take a look around you at your friends, your family, your neighbors, and you go, well, I'm doing a little bit better than Bob over there. Meanwhile, Bob's got a cane and he's limping, you know. And understand, everything started emotionally before it ever went physically. So the reality is if you're going to eat, you better be smart. You better be coming from your heart when you're eating, because you do not want to be in a terrifying fright situation, because your legs and your arms are going to get the blood, and even, they're going to get the adrenaline to go for the run, but if you don't run, you're just going to crystallize. Remember the last time that you really got upset? You got upset for 5 to 10 minutes? What happened? What happened? Just 5 to 10 minutes. Your guts were turned into knots. Your joints were stiffer, you felt ached and pained, and guess what? You drained your battery. You had to go lay down, or you had a headache. But you definitely felt fatigued, didn't you? Because you dumped so much adrenaline, and it's so acidic, because if you're gonna dump adrenaline, baby, then you better be running. You better be running. You better be doing something. You better be running away from something or running to something, and then you wouldn't feel that way, would you? Because you'd be using that nitroglycerin called adrenaline that you put into your body. You're the terrorist that you've been looking for. And you should become the practitioner that you need. So anyways, the food's going to come down, and you see these little wrinkles in here. They're called rugae. And the stomach is also like a washing machine, and it's kind of churning everything. And it's taking the hydrochloric acid and the pepsin, and it's helping to break down your foods, okay? All right? But remember, if you combine the starch and the protein together, you're going to neutralize the enzymes, and then you're just going to burp and fart and bloat, okay? If you did protein and salad, that's great. If you did starch and salad, that's great. If you did 2 proteins at a meal, holy crap, that's fart attack, heart attack stuff, okay? Because that's definitely going to rot and putrefy, and that gas is going to rise, because this is just the front door and the back door, okay, to an internal tube called your digestive tract, and that gas is going to rise, and when you start to rot instead of digest, gas rises, puts pressure on your heart, puts pressure on your lungs, gives you a heartburn because you're spewing hydrochloric acid up here. And then if you're the type of person that doesn't drink enough water, and you see this, the diaphragm right here, you push your diaphragm down to try to squeeze your poop out into the toilet because it's dehydrated, it's glicky sticky from your glicky sticky diet. So glicky sticky dried poo, it's not coming out of you. And so you use your diaphragm to push down, and what happens is your stomach, the valve right up here called the stomach valve, it pushes itself up above the diaphragm, and now you get heartburn and you spew acid here. A Wolf non-surgical body worker can reverse a hiatal hernia in 5 to 10 minutes. What do you think of that? I'll give you a money-back guarantee. Anybody who's in Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo, Mexico, or in anywhere I'm going to be lecturing in Australia, Byron Bay, Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, Coffs Harbour, if you've got hiatal hernia, come there and I'll prove to you that I can reverse it in 10 minutes. All right, or would you like to live with that and spew hydrochloric acid, okay, into your lungs, into your trachea, into your throat, and that's will lead just to cancer. That's all that does. And it's not cancer. I call it stage 4 inflammation because the acidity is going to create the inflammation, which is inflame, which eats up the oxygen, okay, cellularly. And guess what? No cells can live without, stay normal if they're deprived of 35% of their oxygen for more than 3 days. Ask Dr. Otto Warburg, the only person that ever received the Nobel Prize for discovering the cause of stage 4 inflammation, which they call cancer. And there is only one cancer, and that's inflammation. There's not 110 cancers like they say. And cancer is not genetic either. Let's make that perfectly clear. Okay, so now we're in the stomach, and then it's going to go into the small intestine. And the small intestine is 22 feet long, whereas the large intestine is only 5 to 7 feet long. Okay? And in the small intestine, you have what is called these villi, these hairs. And just know this, in your intestines, it's only 1 cell thick. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. So these hairs, actually, you get a haircut. The more drugs you take, the more poisons you have in your food and your drink, and the more sugar you take in, the more maltodextrin you take in, which guess what? Just so you know, they don't have to say that there's maltodextrin in any food, and they can say it's 0 sugar, and they're lying their butts off and they're poisoning people. If you don't get back to the farmer, if you don't get back to making your own food, it's going to be pretty rough for everybody here, because you know what they realized? They can lie, and you can even know it, and you can't do a damn thing about it. Okay. All right, so anyways, those hairs are going to get broken off. As they get broken off, you absorb less nutrition. Your nutrition mainly is absorbed in here, in the small intestine. You will get some absorption in the large intestine, okay? But in the large intestine, I already told you, it's 85% of your immune system. The large intestine, nobody tells you that. Oh my God, I just thought that was my colon, my large intestine. It just had poop that had to go in the toilet. It was just the after effects of eating. No, it's everything. Everything. Well, you know what? Have you ever been a gardener? Are you a gardener now? Well, I'd like you to put chocolate bars in there and ice cream and alcohol. Okay, how about some cigarettes? Okay. How about getting as much processed food as you can get your hands on and put it into the compost, and then we'll take that compost and we'll put it in your garden and we'll see how good your garden grows. That's what you're doing. You know what? I just have to step on your foot, your mouth drops down, okay? All right? And then just put it in. You know what? We treat ourselves like garbage cans because they treat us like garbage cans. And because most people treat themselves like garbage cans, and you're going to go, that's not true, Daryl. Okay, well, take a look at your family. How many people in your family are symptom-free? You should be symptom-free your whole life. We already know that it's not genetics. We already know it's epigenetic. We already know that it's either the family curse or the family blessing, depending on the belief systems of the family. That's it. That's real science. Okay? So now we're going to go through the small intestine. Okay, and there's ileitis, there's Crohn's disease, and Crohn's disease, you could say, ileitis means inflammation of the ileum. That's all. Just like colitis, inflammation of the colon. Sinusitis, inflammation of the sinuses. Arthritis, inflammation of the joints. And it's all based on infection, inflammation, scar tissue formation, and calcification. There it is. Doesn't matter where it's in the body. And that's why I say there are no diseases. Okay, there's just one. It's called inflammation. And it's called inflammation of the mind first that becomes a landmine. And because you've been given all these BS beliefs, you just follow through like everybody else. Because everybody else is doing it, you do it. You're not stupid. You're not stupid. Okay? We were born ignorant, but then we went to school to become stupid. We go to school to become stupid. Let me tell you something. The things I learned the most were not in high school. They were not in college. So just know that. The things that I learned the most, that mean the most to me, were the people that were the real human beings. They were the real people. It didn't come out of a book. It came from our ancestors. It came from the reality of self-care, self-love. Okay? All right. So then when it comes to the cecum, okay, all right? When it comes to the cecum, from the cecum all the way down to the rectum, that's where the magic happens. The state of your good bacteria, or the state of your bacteria, I should say, because you know what? Whether you believe this or not, why don't you do your homework? That'd be great. Do some research. That'd be good. Check out my Perfect Day Guide, pdgfree.com. You want to come on, you want to challenge me on a live show, go right ahead. All right, I'm open to be challenged. I'm open to learn. I learn every day. Do I think I know everything? No, I know 1% of 1%. I will spend my whole life unraveling the lies. My parents loved me the best they could, and they lied to me their whole life because they were lied to their whole life. They were lied to in school. They were lied to everywhere they went. And it's been generational. I will spend my whole life, and I don't need to find out all the lies. I just need to find the truth. I don't need to search for the lies anymore. I've already looked at that. I mean, I did that. Since I was in my early 20s, I wanted to know what was behind the curtain. Wait a minute, another curtain. Oh my God, another curtain. Oh my God, another curtain. And understand something. I don't look for lies anymore. I just look for the truth. And guess what? Now you're going to have a great life. Don't look. After a while, get rid of the controversial stuff. You know, when I come on here and I talk about things, most people don't even know about these things. Most people don't know about these things. So I'll bring them up. But I don't want to be Mr. Controversial guy. I want to be the guy that's giving you answers, okay? How to have a perfect day from the moment you rise till you close your eyes, and how to feel that unconditional love for yourself and the world that you live in, and not to be at war with anything, because if you're at war, you're trying to find peace. And the reality is this: you never want to be trying to find peace. You want to find alignment within yourself, and that's finding the God spot in your heart. All right. So anyway, so we get to the large intestine. Like I said, that is 85% of your immune system is in your large intestine. And you see how it surrounds your whole core? All right? It surrounds the whole core. And isn't it crazy, eh? Over 90% of the population has 85% bad bacteria and only 15% good bacteria. This is true. When we're supposed to have 85% good bacteria and we're only supposed to have 15% bad bacteria. And to have bad bacteria, you know what? Did you ever notice something, guys? They will actually sanitize a hospital to the point that there's no bad bacteria in there, but there is. Does anybody know what the sickest building in the world is? The sickest building in the world is actually a hospital. And that's why? Because they have to what? Oh, we have to kill every bacteria. We have never been so sick on this planet. Do you know how these 5 families that have been ruling for hundreds of thousands of years are getting off on this, these psychos get together and they strategize. Who knows if they even like each other? But the reality is they hog tie 8 billion of us and they keep us sick. They feed us sick food, give us drugs, and then we shut down the infection and the inflammation, we think, because no longer do we feel pain. So once the pain and the inflammation's gone, we think it's not going on, but it is. It's just gut-brain disconnection. That's right, you knocked out your good bacteria, which actually talk 9 times to your brain, and your brain only talks once to them. So you knock out the good bacteria that give the information that's actually collected in your pelvis, that actually goes into your spinal column, into your spinal fluid. And your spinal fluid works like the zipper at the fair, where the information goes to the brain to say what's going on wrong, what hormones, what chemicals do we need to heal, and then the information in that comes back down, and then it goes to the body where it needs. But when you shut down and you take drugs to shut yourself down from the pain, understand, pain is a GPS, okay? Pain is a GPS, all right? And guess what? It tells you whether you're in alignment or not. Right now, if I were to think of my body, my calf, okay, on the right side is a little tight. That's as bad as it gets, right? Okay? So I'll go do some stretching. Wouldn't it be great to know why you might have inflammation, pain, swelling, or stiffness, and how to turn that around? I'm going to give it away to you free. It's called pdgfree.com. And it's called docofdetoxlibrary.com. I have more masterclasses in my library than any other website, and they're free. Even my Braveheart online emotional intelligence course takes 33 days if you did an hour to 2 hours a day. It'll change your life. Change your thoughts, you change your life. Change your personality, you change your reality. Your disease is only created by the belief systems that you have within here. So you take the invisible and you create the physical. And that's it. That's it. So what we're going to do tomorrow is at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, I'm doing part 2. Rectum, I almost killed him. And that is, we're going to be talking to Randy again. We did part 1 today, just a couple hours ago. And we did part 1 about his rectal anal cancer that he got radiation and chemo for. You might want to check it out. And then tomorrow we're going to do part 2, and I'm going to give him all the ideas. He's going to tell me what his diet's like right now. And then I'm going to tell him what type of a Live It program, not diet, because diet, D-I-E, right? Diet, just like Plan It. They've been planning it for a long time. Welcome to Planet Earth. They've been planning it for a long time. So tomorrow I'm going to go through, and I'm going to talk to Randy, and we're going to go through what I believe would be a perfect day diet, Live It, okay, for his condition. And remember something, everyone. You know how there's supposedly 167 autoimmune diseases? Well, there's not. There's only inflammation. You know how there's 110 cancers? Well, there's only one, and that's inflammation. And you can believe it or not believe it, but how does it feel to go psycho? You know, right off the bat, you feel like you've got to, oh my God, I could never be as smart as my doctor. Please, don't be as smart as your doctor. All your doctor has is a bunch of information, and it's based on creating inflammation. You know, I got to tell you something. Become your own practitioner. Do your own homework. I didn't say trust no one. I said trust in you. Trust in you. That what you call God, universal creator. This body is really, really a masterpiece, and you could learn how to actually look after it on every level. Give my pdgfree.com guide a chance, okay? And then come on and just watch and challenge. And if you get to the point that you're like, oh my God, I need this answer, what am I gonna do? Just call me, 469-861-8884, and we'll talk. You know, I don't want you to stress out. If you're like, it's the end of the world as I know it, call me. I'll call you back. If you don't hear from me within 2 hours, call me again. I'm not going to go, why are you calling me? You're calling me so often. I won't do that. And if you really want to really get started here, right now with the Patriot sale, you know, that we have going on, you can get a consult for $95 and you get lifetime support. Okay? All right, so the large intestine is the Holy Grail. Okay? And I'm going to do part 2 tomorrow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you tomorrow how your large intestine, okay, first of all, they created the domino effect of disease here first. You believe their BS, their belief systems. And guess what? And it's not even that you believe them. From 0 to 7, you had no filters. You were actually programmed, okay? Your personality was rolling the dice. Boom, baby. It was just like going to the casino. It depended on the personality of your mother and father at the time of you entering the womb. Because I don't care if you have 5 different children in your family, they all have different personalities, because there was a different love affair going on with your parents, with themselves and each other every pregnancy. It was different. It was different. People really, they do change to a degree, but they don't ever really get their health in order. Do you ever notice that? People really don't change because it's very difficult to find people that are going to say, I'm going to teach you, but I'm going to teach you not to need me. I'm going to teach you not to have to keep spending money on me, unless you want to get our nutraceuticals, which I do carry the best nutraceuticals on the planet, vibration-wise. And if you can figure out how I can make them better, you come and you tell me. So tomorrow we'll do part 2. And tomorrow I'm going to go through the large intestine, okay? And I'm going to show you how this is the second to the heart. This is the most important organ in your body. If it shuts down or goes into a coma, everything else is going to get poisoned. Do you understand? This is where the worms are created. This is where the fungus is created. This is where the bad bacteria is created. And they're not going to tell you that. Tomorrow I'll take about an hour and I'll go through that. If you want, go to Highway of Life in Doc of Detox Library if you want to see a real in-depth on this, okay? So understand something, everyone. This is called the pelvic bowl right down here. See? Pelvic bowl right here. Do you have a shot of this? Are you getting a shot? Okay, so here's called the pelvic bowl. And whether you believe it or not, tomorrow I'm going to prove that you are pooping in the pelvic bowl, okay, which is getting into your bloodstream, okay, which is actually infecting your prostate, your ovaries, your uterus. It's causing endometriosis. It's causing fibroids. It's causing infertility. It's causing bladder problems. It's causing kidney problems. It's causing prostate problems. It's the reason why you need the drugs for the pain down in this area. It's the reason why you have the smells coming from this area. It's the reason why you have the hysterectomy in this area, pooping in the pelvis. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's 95 to 99% of the problem is the large intestine in this area. And we will prove that. And your L3, L4, L5 surgery here is mainly caused because of a dysfunctional large intestine. Okay, 95% to 98% of all hip replacements are from pooping in the pelvis. Okay, so I need you to get this. I need you to understand this. It's not that complicated. No, you don't have to be a doctor, and you don't want to become a doctor, okay? You want to become the practitioner, the healer, the lover of your body. It is not that difficult. Everything is vibration, okay? Everything is about nourishing. From now on, we're not going to eat, we're going to nourish. We're going to nourish on an emotional and physical, okay, nutritional level. And we're going to look for high vibrational friends, family, high vibrational habits, okay, high vibrational drink, what we think, what we eat, and guess what? That's how we're going to have the best life ever. You're going to have to let go of things to introduce other things, and guess what? When you bring in higher vibrational things, it kicks out lower things like toxins and dis-ease. When there are no diseases, you're just out of ease, you're out of alignment with your true self, which is called unconditional love and care for yourself. And that's the truth. Let me see if I can find my clicker. Pocket. Okay. Hope you like our new studio. We're still working out the bugs. I just want to thank Juan and Carla and Rafa, and I want to thank the whole team that was here from California and Florida that are helping to put this together. By the time I get back by September the 5th, when I get back, we'll be ready to rock and roll. We've already got people coming from all over the world to book master classes and to actually do shootings here. We didn't build this for us. We built it for Braveheart Nation. And that means everybody that has a message, everyone that wants to share something to the world. Okay? All right? So welcome to Doc Talk Live Q&A. I will do part 2 tomorrow. All right? Okay? All right, let me just go through this. Okay, I've talked to you about the Perfect Day Guide. Check it out. And I'm going to be coming on for questions here in a second and see if there is any, okay? The Patriot sale's on, guys. So not just consultations are $95, but you can get up to 50% off on our Prostate Power, our IGF-1. Listen, if you've always wanted to have the energy that you had when you were youthful, go check out IGF-1. That's the longevity anti-aging formula right there. Where do you think I get my energy from? What do you think creates more collagen in the body than anything else? What do you think inhibits any type of mutations in the body? What do you think excites new cells in the body? Where do you think that energy comes from that you used to have when you were in your 20s and early 30s? It came from IGF-1. And IGF-1 was made by human growth hormone that everybody had when you were younger. It went into your liver and then it created IGF-1. My IGF-1 is exactly the same as the liver used to make. Did you hear me? Okay, it is not artificial, it's not synthetic, because if it was synthetic, it could actually cause inflammatory problems and even illness in the body. We do not do any synthetics, and understand, there is not one side effect from IGF-1, or if there was, I wouldn't be able to have it. Okay, my Infinite Iodine Iodide is the only pure molecular iodine iodide in the world. There's not a product that even comes close to it. Watch the videos and you'll find out. Our hemp oil C60 is 270 times stronger in vitamin C. I already told you it's the strongest fatty acid product I know of on this planet. And that's what helps to create the cholesterol. Your brain is 80% cholesterol. Your outer cells is 50% cholesterol. And understand something, they lied to you. You will never, ever be in trouble. There's no such thing as high cholesterol, but you need to do your research. Okay? Pain Away Fulvic Humic. That is for spraying on the body to get rid of inflammation. The fulvic acid, check out what fulvic acid is. Fulvic acid is way beyond bentonite, way beyond zeolite, way beyond charcoal, okay? Way beyond everything else. Fulvic has 70 minerals in it that it drops off into the cells, and guess what else it does, okay? It actually will trap parasites, heavy metals, okay, and chemicals, and it will trap it right into the particle. It will hold 300 to 400% of its weight of that. And it will also alkaline, and it goes right down to the cellular level, okay? It goes into the bloodstream, goes into the cellular level, all right? Goes into the brain. Humic acid will balance any hormonal problem in a man or a woman. Humic acid will help dismantle any type of virus, okay? And that's the same thing with Infinite Iodine. And did you know that, guess what? If you get iodine every day, then you've got the what? You've got the off switch that will cause any cell that is mutated or corrupted to kill itself. If you don't have iodine in there, then guess what? These cells go rogue. How important is iodine now? Not just for your thyroid, but is that important? And I could tell you many other things. But do your research, look at the Perfect Day Guide, okay? Go into our library, or just go to store.docofdetox.com. You'll get more information as well, okay? All right, so for those you don't know, I live in Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo. This is where our clinic is, and this is where also we have the DoD 5-star Healing and Training Retreat. And it is a world-class retreat. And you know, when we first moved here 3 years ago, we'd have 200 people sometimes coming to the World Healing Palace that we used to work out of a hotel, and we used to have 200 people sometimes. We used to fill it because of the lectures, the trainings, and treatments. I had 10 treatment rooms, and we had consultation rooms, energy medicine rooms, so I think we had 20 rooms altogether. And the reality is now we just have our healing retreat, and we will not take more than 8 people. That's it, because I only want to do quality work, and last time it was just a sugar show, okay? But the reality is that we all learn. We all learn, don't we? Okay? So check out DoD5star.com, okay? And if you don't want to come to us, just know that Dr. Sage Wolf will come to you and do a personal treatment and training on Wolf Non-Surgical, and he will teach you how to have the perfect day from the moment you rise until you close your eyes. Those protocols go anywhere from 5 days all the way up to 12 days if you want to be certified in Wolf Non-Surgical. Okay, Dr. Sage Wolf just left 10 minutes ago to go catch it. He's going to be going to Nova Scotia to do a personal treatment and training. And then from there, he is going to, so if you ever want him for a personal treatment and training, whether it's for your clinic or for your family or for a group, let us know. But he will be in Toronto from the 22nd to the 4th. And right now, he's about 3/4 full with treatments. He's doing consultations, Wolf Non-Surgical. He's doing thermography. We have the most powerful thermography. It tells you everything about the human body, and it's not toxic like X-ray. We also do heavy metal testing. Our heavy metal testing will actually test not just the metals in the blood, but in the tissues and the organs, and tell you where they are and what they are throughout your body. He'll be doing that in Toronto as well. So consultations, and he's also, he's got a Cellsonic there because he's at Magdalena's clinic just north of the 401 by about 5 miles, 3 to 5 miles. So if you'd like, give him a call at 250-801-5673 and leave your number. All right, this is my tour. Okay, so Day with the Doc, it's an all-day event, Byron Bay. Heal yourself, 1 second. I got to go back. My apology. Okay. All right. I'll be in Sydney first, July the 18th. And that is a Heal Yourself, Heal Your Family. That's just a night lecture. It's free. They're all free. A Day with the Doc, it's an all-day lecture. That's in Melbourne. And then Brisbane, it's Heal Yourself, Heal Your Family. Then in Byron Bay, it's a Day with the Doc. It's an all-day. And then Heal Yourself, Heal Your Family in Coffs Harbour. And then in Coffs Harbour, we'll be doing our complete training, Whole Life Health Coach, starting August the 7th, then Wolf Non-Surgical certification August the 17th, and then pelvic restoration will start on April the 30th. And then we'll be back here in Zihuatanejo, Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo, okay, on October the 9th to kick off the same 3 courses, okay? All right, those are the pricings. We brought our pricings down by 40 to 45%. Okay, all right. We are not coming back to Australia probably for 3 to 5 years, and that's only because I really know that the kickoff, COVID was an hors d'oeuvre. They're going to feed us the meal, and the kickoff will be just before or during this presidential election in the United States. And understand, let's find out if I'm wrong. I want to be wrong, but no. They need to create total world anarchy, chaos, okay, to bring in this new digital system and structure, okay? They need everything to just blow up. So while they're blowing up things, we're going to be here in Ixtapa, Mexico. And the reality is, I'm only booking for the next year in Mexico, United States, and Canada. Why? Because I've got residency in those 3 countries. And the reality is 167 countries have signed a pact with the WHO, and they say they're going to kick this thing off. Maybe. I could be wrong. I want to be wrong. Around the presidential election, okay? And that's this, that you cannot fly to another country unless you have residency there, unless you're going to take the vaccine that they are going to want you to take, or you can't get on a plane because you can't go into that other country. Find out, do your homework. Okay, that's all I'll say. Coffs Harbour, Australia, get in touch with Tora Klein. And as far as Ixtapa Zihuatanejo, or our American United States course that we're going to be doing in 2025, and also in Canada, you can get in touch with me, 469-861-8884, or you could call the 800 number and talk to one of our beautiful staff, okay? All right? That's our 2025 course dates. We don't know if we'll be doing Toronto. We're still looking for a place in Toronto that'll be reasonably priced, okay? And Florida will be Stuart, Florida, okay? So we will be in Stuart, Florida, and the date, it looks like it's going to change. We'll be heading to Stuart, Florida around the 21st, 22nd, not April the 2nd. Why? Because Airbnb prices dropped by about 40%. Okay, so we've got to work around things because that's what it's all about, right? Okay, we got to strategize. Are you going to strategize? Are you going to strategize your day from the moment you rise till you close your eyes? Are you going to understand that you are much more than you believe? Do you understand that they want to harvest everything? They want to take our health and our wealth? Do you understand this? Don't be fearful anymore. Be courageous, okay? Do your homework. Okay, be the one with the slight smile on your face, shoulders back, and tell your family, we got this, okay? And then see if you can stop watching the football, basketball, or the soccer ball game 5 times a week, and get out of the garage and start doing some research and make your home a health zone and be the hero for your family. And remember, every one of you men out there, your job doesn't start until you get to the front door and you get home at night. That's where your job starts. Let's be the hero for our family, okay? All right? If you have any testimonials, please send them in to docofdetoxtestimonials.com. We would love to hear them. We'll put them up if it's okay with you. Just use your first name and your first initial. Whether you write it, you audio it, you video it, it doesn't matter. But we want to make sure we put real testimonials up, okay? BHN app, we need your help. Go in there, test drive it. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us what you'd like to see. Okay? All right? The BHN app, go to bhnapp.com. We've been working on it for 2 years. The release date is August the 8th. Again, the Patriot Sale, check it out. Again, the Perfect Day Guide. I dare you to read the whole guide and then tell me it wasn't the most life-changing, life-saving thing you've ever done, okay? And just know that we will be putting that guide in audio fashion as well. It's going to take time, but we're going to do it, okay? All right? And if you love the guide, we can send it to you for $95 delivered to your door. Self-care is the only care. Self-love is the only love. Guess what? Let your family off the hook for loving you. They still will. But the reality is, if you just learned how to love yourself, all right, then guess what? You watch how many tantrums you don't have, okay? Learn to fly. First, love yourself. Together, we are stronger. We are Braveheart Nation. Thanks for joining me today. God bless.